Hi guys, welcome to Coastal Crafter Shorts. It is lovely to have you. This is a new series, the first of my series really, apart from my Photoshop course. This is the first in a series of short videos for absolute beginners. Okay, for those of you who've done a little bit of crafting here and there, you might have done some paper crafting, you may have done birthday cards and greetings cards, but you might not have done journals. Okay, so this is for you if you are that type of person, or you just want to kind of tune in and have a cup of tea and coffee or whatever and just watch me because you're one of my subscribers. That would be good as well. I'm sure there's something that you'll pick up on or think, oh, I hadn't thought of that. So, well, hopefully anyway. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you are on Etsy or you're on another site and you see a kit that you love and you think, great, I'm going to try and make a journal. My first time of creating a kit, creating from a kit. Now, the first thing that you will get when you have your kit is you'll have a whole bunch of pages. And we will talk about putting a journal together later on, but all you need to do to start off with is choose your pages to print them on full page or whatever size you would like to make your journal, okay? And then make sure they are double-sided. Now, many people, when they get their journal kit and they print it off, and I'll just show you with this one. It's very tight, but that's fine. You will find that you will have, can you see along the edge here? You will have this little overlay where the pages do not fit exactly together. Now you will see many videos where people want them to be precise and perfect and they get a knife and they cut it up. I've tried to do that thinking it was the right thing to do and it's always gone horribly wrong. So for me, when I'm doing a journal like this that is basically sort of in a concertina, because of the way that I've made it with a really big spine so that I can fill it up, it doesn't really bother me. If I was making it for a client, I would ask them and say, you know, a client, listen to me, I sound so posh, but if I was making them for somebody, then I would ask them, you know, would you want all the pages to be precise? Do you mind them to be a little bit, you know, sort of overlapping, if you like? But that is the first thing that you want to do, is to cut out your pages. And if you want to trim off this part here with your trimmer because you don't like the look of it, then that's absolutely fine. What I would say is do it on each different signature. Use a knife if you can. It's quite hard to do on a cutter, I find, but again, it's practice. I've messed up so many journal pages using a knife, so many, trying to do what other people do. So if it doesn't bother you and you are practicing and this is for you, then don't do it. That's what I say. And most people, I don't think most people are going to be that worried. If you've produced a beautiful journal, you might be putting tabs on it, you might be putting lace on the side, you might have a flip out that you're going to attach. It isn't always necessary to have that kind of perfection. This is handmade. That is the key, but it's entirely up to you. So you've got all your papers here in a stack. You might not have made your housing for your journal yet, your cover, etc. So you've got these, and then you're presented with a pile of ephemera because you've cut it all out. It's all here. You've kind of got bits and bobs that you've cut, and usually there's lots of tiny little bits to you do. I'm just going to move these around so you can see what I've got. Still got a couple of bits on there that I wasn't sure I was going to use, so I'm just popping those over there. So as you can see, I've pretty much cut out everything. And with this one, it comes with these little sort of paper pieces as well that like torn paper. And this is what you've got. So you've got this whole pile of ephemera. And there's another one that I've still got to cut out. But we'll just work on this part here. I'm just removing any odds and ends that I have so that you can see. Now, so on this side, I have all of my ephemera that I've cut out. And on this side, I have the extra papers that comes with the kit. Okay, now what do? I've been here. You get all this ready. You might have a few other little bits and bobs, you know, like some bows or some distress ink or some stamps or some other bits and pieces that you've collected or that you've been gifted to you. But what do? You can watch as many videos as you want and say, well, I could copy that, or I could do that. But at the end of the day, this comes down to your preference, your artistic vision. You don't have to copy anyone else. So you could sort the die cuts from the cards. That's always a good way to start. It's kind of lay out, you know, the larger pieces from the smaller pieces. I quite like to do that. So I kind of put my journal size cards down here. You know, anything that could be a journal card or could be stuck in. And then I put my ephemera, what I call little sort of cut out ephemera, in one place. This is a pocket, so we'll put that separately. Another little tuck pocket. So I always kind of sort into little piles so I can see what I've got and how much I've got to use. And a quick tip, no matter what you get in the kit, it will never ever be enough. Okay, never. You will always find you'll have some blank pages, and this is the longest process. Now what I would say is, in the future I will be bringing out kits that do not have this issue. Okay, I will explain that on another day when I'm closer to creating them, but at the moment that's not going to happen all the time. I have a poorly hip, but this is the layout that I like to do for now. So what I normally do is look at my pockets to start with, and as you can see, I have 4 different signatures in here. Signature is just the collection of, say, 5 pages, okay, if you're not sure about that. So I have the one from the Victoria Designs kit, then I have some printouts of tea dyed paper. So it's not actually tea dyed paper, it's a printout that I bought, so it's a kit, and then because I wanted it to be nice and smooth. And then I have another set of signatures from there. Then I have some paper, a little bit of my own paper from one of my paper pads, and then another signature. So obviously, even if you look at this with the 3 signatures that Victoria Designs give you, you haven't got a huge amount of pockets. So this is when I would say to you that getting a different type of paper, so one of these for instance, to make a separate pocket or tuck spot is always a good thing, and you always get some extra paper with this. I've got a little half here for where I use some pockets for the front. And also look for any corresponding paper that you might have in your stash. If you don't, there's no reason why you can't just, you know, reproduce the paper again and use it in a different way by decorating it differently. So you could create 2 different style pockets with this, and then maybe just decorate it differently, or just use like a plain paper like this one over here, and you could get several pockets out of that, but you just do it all differently. You decorate it differently, make it look different, use a different part of the paper. So there's plenty of scope for creating additional pockets that you might need. I always put a nice big pocket at the front or the back of my journal. Just make sure I'm on camera now. Let's just move you over. I've had a clean earlier, well, not earlier in the week, but while I've been away, I've had a really good clean. I pulled everything out. So, well, not me. My mum helped me do it because I was so sore, but we did do it together. And my stand is slightly in the wrong place. So I apologise. I was just off camera there. So the first thing you want to do is, looking at your first page, what would you like to see on it? Would you, do you think someone would like to put their name on it? This personally is my own journal, so I'm going to write a little bit here. So at the top here, I think I'd probably just like a pretty die cut or something that I can just have there. Now, when you first start out, I would always recommend that you go for either the tea dye distress oxide or distress ink. There is a difference between the two. If I grab, oops, I'm just trying to find my other brown one. Of course you can't find it, can you? So I've got tea dye and vintage photo distress ink, but I also went ahead and bought vintage photo in the distress oxide. Now the difference between the two is distress ink, once you put it on, is pretty much stays. That's it. Okay, with the distress oxide it's much more blendable. Okay, and I have got a video on this. I'll have to, if you look right back, you'll see me kind of show you a video between the difference, blending with one and blending with the other. So personally, I would get distress oxide from the outset, and then you've always got that kind of texture that you can blend, as well as adding around the edges of things to kind of make them look old and distressed. Okay, so I'm going to take some of my distressed oxide vintage photo. Now let's just, I've changed everything so it's all in the wrong place. Bear with me, guys. Oops. Just grabbing one of these now. Oh, wouldn't be me if I wasn't falling over, would it, while I was trying to grab things that I should have already had ready. Okay, so there's some different types of ways that you can add the colour to an embellishment or a cutout, or whatever you'd like to call it. This is the first way. This is just a dabber. You can see it's been well used with removable little pads that you can buy. Haven't tried washing these yet. I don't know if you can do that, but I use quite a few of them with different colours. So you can buy these little dabbers. They're not too expensive. It's this part that can be a bit more expensive, but the refills aren't expensive at all. And you can use this to go around the outside of your cutout, just to kind of, you just tap the edges, just practice really, to create the colour. Or some people like to use these type of makeup brushes, and they just will go over all of the image just to kind of, or they'll go around the edge like this, but mostly it's used for blending over the image. And that's why I say you can't really blend unless you've got the Distress Oxide version of the Ranger inks. Or some people like these, okay, which is just the finger bobs, as I call them. And you can just, you know, go around really quickly with your finger. Some people say it gives them more control, but it's entirely up to you. These are available from AliExpress for pennies. They are not expensive at all. Me personally, I like this one. And all you would do would just go around, just flick. If you can see me do this, I'll just show you, just because no one really shows you how to do this. And sometimes, you know, when you first start, it's quite hard, but you just literally flick just to create a little bit of extra colour. Hopefully you can see that now around the outside there's just that light little bit of brown there. So now that's done, I'll pop that back on. And then it comes down to glues really. Now one of the best glues that you can use is this art glitter glue. As you can see, the bottle is well squidged. I refill it all the time. Now it does have this separate point that you can buy, which I would recommend because it's very fine. The only thing I would say about it is at the moment it is clogged. This one isn't clogged at all, or it might be now, but this is completely clogged. No matter how much I try to release it, it is clogged. And I can see inside there's a big globule of glue. I've tried a pin, everything, it doesn't work. And as you can see, nothing is coming out. So it is fantastic. I'm going to soak it in some isopropyl, which is just the cleaner, like an alcohol cleaner, to see if I can get it to work. But the actual art glitter glue is fantastic. Let's see if I see. Look, it already needs a poke. Just poke it with my nozzle for a second. Hang on. We need a pin, don't we? But anyway, that is a really good glue to use. The art glitter glue. You could use a Pritt stick if you wanted to, if that's your thing. If you're not happy with glue, there's so many different glues to look at, and I will do a video on that for you. So let's try and release this because it's going to be naughty and be blocked again. You'll see this in lots of videos actually. People are always going, oh, my glue's blocked, because it does get blocked quite easily. But we'll just put a pin inside there, and I'll pop. It's good to put a little magnet, hot glue gun, a magnet onto the side, and then you can just hold your pin as well. You'll see a lot of people do that. You're going to come out, or are you still stuck? No, you're still stuck. This is real life, guys. This is what my channel's all about. It's just showing the pitfalls, and also it does get stuck, but you can do it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just go in here, and there probably is, yeah, as I thought, a really thick, can you see? It does get quite gunky. There's a nice thick gloopy load of glue in there, which is stopping my glue from coming out. So we'll just get something in there. Oh, this is live, people, live. As you can see, it's just gone a little bit gloopy. And yeah, it's not going to come out like that. Always have a little set of wipes from the pound shop or the Dollar Tree, whatever you have where you are. Okay, let's try and get this clear. But yeah, this will happen all the time to you, so it's another little thing to think about when you are crafting. Right, let's see if that will help. It may not still look like me. Yeah, it's really important. No, it's really important to try and keep your glues clear, but it is really difficult. As you know, I've not been here for a little while, and I think that's why I have a little tiny problem. Bear with me. I'm going to pause you. Yep, that took a minute to clear. Now I've just splurged on my way too much glue on my little butterfly, but never mind. There we go. So yeah, it is important to keep your glues clear. I've not been up here in a month, so that's probably why I'm having so many issues with it. But yeah, it's really important to keep it clear. Perhaps if anyone can give me a tip on how to keep that clear while you're not up here, that would be good. So I've got my first little butterfly, and then I'm going to place something along here when I write. So that page is pretty much done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pockets randomly and just, I want to put a couple in and around my journal. So I'm just going to fold these. You'll see on most people's pockets you'll have a little fold line. Always good to kind of use a you know, a bone folder or something like this, which is just a little clay tool. And then if you need to cut off a little bit from there because it's not quite right, that's fine. Don't think you cut it out wrongly, you haven't. It's just the way it was originally designed. And we'll put this on. Let's see, I'll leave that page for a moment. Let's find a page that's a bit plain. There we go. And we'll just put this little pocket on here. We're going to do that on the inside. And again, this is just personal choice as to where you put your pocket. You know, you could put it up here, you could put it down here, you could do it in the corner, but I'm going to do that one there. I'll just press that down. So this is really the first thing I do. I'll just sit through, just like that, sit for a sec. I think I'll put a little bit of glue on the edge here actually as well. I don't like that corner part there. There we go. So I've just stuck that edge down as well, so that can be a tuck. The difference between tuck and pockets, that's a good one. So a pocket would be one that, in my opinion, has flaps, so it comes out slightly. A tuck would be a single piece of paper like this, and it would just be open one side and you could just tuck it in. Other people might have a different viewpoint. That's how I see it. So I'm just going to zip through and just see if I can find, I'm going to do, oh, that's lovely. I'm going to do one for each of the signatures just for now. So I'm just going to fold along the edges. Use a bone folder if you need to. That one probably, yeah, that's really all over the place where I folded that. This one's got quite an interesting line on it, which I don't particularly like, I have to say. And put a fold line in it, but that's okay. We can work with it. And then I'll trim a little bit off here. Ooh. And I trimmed all the way down now, look, so I'll have to trim that off. It's okay. Mistakes have to be put in. So we'll just put a little bit of glue there. Way too much because I haven't got my little pointer, but that's okay. And I'm just going to put that in this corner. Press down, excess glue on my hand. There we go. So there we have that. And then I'm just going to go again to this signature. Not going to worry about the plain signature at the moment because I think that's going to be my writing area. I quite like this pocket. Let's see if it will fit in my journal. It might be a bit chunky, but let's have a go. Quite nice on this maroon page that I have. So the same way, I'm just going to, some people would say this is the pocket because it has 3 flaps. So I don't know, it's up to you. I always think if it's a flap, it's a type of pocket because it gives you that extra bit of room. But, you know, all to their own. So I think that will work perfectly there because it's picking up the colour from my paper that doesn't come in the kit. This is my Natural History Museum paper. And in case you're interested, it was from the works. I don't think they have it anymore. But I did show it on a previous video. So we'll just pop that in there. Bit of splodgy glue. That's okay. Can you see it splodging out? I'm just going to grab, you can grab yourself a tissue or a wipe. Some dry wipes here, just go along the edge and just take that excess glue off. And this art glitter glue will dry clear anyway, so that's perfect. So that one's on there. Let's see how many more I've got. I've just got one more here, so again I'll just use this one in the other signature. See if I can find an appropriate page for it. There's a plain page there, might look quite nice there. So I'll just pop this in, and this is the first thing that I will do with most kits. I use my pockets up first, and then I know that I've done all the pockets, and any pockets that I want from then on, I will need to make. So I just think it makes life a bit easier. But some people like to decorate page by page. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm just gonna try not to put too much glue on because my little nib is gone and stuck. So I'm just going to pop that one over here and stick that down. Some people definitely say this is a tuck spot because it's on the corner, but you know, I like to say it's a tuck pocket. I don't know. Call it what you will. Tuck pocket, whatever. I'm sure that everyone would be screaming at me, no, you've got it wrong. Tuck pocket, that's what I call it. Okay, so now I've done that, then all I've got left is my ephemera, my large pieces of ephemera, and then my cutouts. So then you can kind of start looking at the beginning of the journal and go through. Now what I would say is, if you have your 3 signatures, don't just start by decorating one signature, because you will run out of all your ephemera. Just randomly go through, pick a page and start decorating, and then you're going to get a really full, beautiful journal. And you're also going to be able to see where you need to put extra ephemera, extra pockets, and extra things of interest. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go through today. Just a first little 10 minutes of our first shorts, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you get your head around the kits. Later on I will be doing another video for you, maybe tomorrow now, depending on my hip and back. But yeah, I will be back with you, and we'll just move on to the next part of the journal decorating. Okay, hope that helps you for today, my lovelies. Until I see you next time, craft yourself happy. Take care now.